Hey, look at that. I've got a co-op partner for doing reviews on the run today. Behr Safi is joining me, and we also joined up together virtually in Gotham Knights. Let's get into it a little bit, but first of all, I think we should talk about the co-op experience. How did you find playing this game with me?
Listen, Vic, we've played quite a lot of multiplayer games together.
Yes, we have, yeah.
Never have I seen you so giddy and so happy as you were while we were playing Gotham Knights. You were like, oh my god, look, it's Nightwing up in the sky, as we were just seeing each other throughout the world here of Gotham.
It's pretty rad to just pan the camera over and see your buddy as one of the Bat family kicking ass on all kinds of mobsters or the freaks or any of the other multitude of factions in this game. It's beautiful.
There's a lot of love put into this game, and I think you recognize that right away. There's a lot of these audio kind of dialogues that you see. There's separate character stories for each of our heroes in this game. Alfred's a big part of the story, and you can tell that, again, a lot of love was put into crafting this world. And I gotta admit something. I really thought that I was gonna hate this game.
Yeah.
You know, I was really worried about it going in. I was extremely just hesitant. I almost didn't want to do this review with you because I don't want to break your heart, Vic.
Oh man,
just crapping on a Gotham world. But as I played it more, you know, I just got into it.
Well, there's a couple of things here. First of all, Batman Arkham Origins had a bit of a stain on it, and it wasn't as well received as the Rocksteady Arkham games were. That was made by the same studio, Warner Brothers Games Montreal. And then, of course, the biggie, which came out last week, I tweeted about it, everybody did, is that this ran at 30 frames per second. We played it on the PlayStation 5. That was maddening for you. My first hands-on with the game, though, was worse than that, because I played it in preview mode, and it was digitally served up to me through my PC through Parsec, and it was a little choppy, and I'm like, geez, is this the way the game is going to go? So I got the nice surprise that, no, it's running actually better than my first hands-on. But yes.
And that's why you were so positive about it, because there's one thing. I know Vic was getting annoyed with me because I was like, listen, Vic, I'm actually having fun with this game, but the 30 frames a second, 30 frames a second, this is not a next-gen hero game like that we expect on a next-gen machine.
Listen, these current-gen consoles are amazing, and they have so much horsepower, but they have been locked to a lot of previous-gen decisions, and I think that is also true with this game, which was supposed to come out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and we didn't find out about that they dropped those until just a few months ago. So I expect that development was cross-generation for a long time, and so these have not been unshackled consoles, you know, for a lot of games. But I think, again, here with this one, we're feeling like we're getting slighted a little bit, and yes, this game should run at 60 frames per second.
It should at least have a performance mode.
It should have a performance mode.
We should not have to deal with, like, I understand 4K at 60, you know, for an untethered multiplayer co-op experience. That could be tough to do. I understand that, but to not have
the amount of detail, too.
And the amount of detail that the world which we'll get to. But to not be able to run at 1080p 60 frames a second is probably the biggest sin that Gotham Knights commits.
Yes.
You know, but otherwise, alongside that, it was still a sharp and fun experience, and I didn't expect that from this game. Again, we were having a lot of hilarious moments. We were, you know, running around from beginning to end, from the most part, after the first few missions. You can play the entire game in co-op. And the direct relationship and comparison that a lot of people are going to make with this game is Square Enix's Avengers title. From Crystal Dynamics. And that game...
Which is co-op, but it's for all the crappy parts.
Yes,
it's all the repetition. It's all the same. Like,
it's after the good stuff.
Yeah, let's go and do this boss, and then let's go in reverse and do that boss again, and then let's go back and do that boss. And that's not what this game is about. I mean, this is truly like a lot of open world experiences. Definitely takes a cue from the Spider-Man game and what Arkham City and Arkham Knight built up, and you know, all kinds of open world stuff. It doesn't deliver the same kind of you know, population density that you get in Spider-Man. There's a sparseness to the amount of people and sort of pedestrian kind of action that you see even in Grand Theft Auto 5 and other types of games that just do that better. But I think that there is a sophistication with the character models and some of the things that they do say. Sometimes there is repetition. It's, hey, look, it's Robin. Hey, look, it's Nightwing.
Yeah.
You know, some of the non-player character chatter, whether it's the villains that you beat up or the pedestrians that you walk past, does get a little annoying. But there is also, to counter that, a tremendous amount of cool detail. The Court of Owls are in here. We don't want to spoil too much, but the League of Shadows is in here.
Yeah.
The story is pretty damn cool. The idea that Batman has been killed and he bequeaths the city of Gotham to his family to protect and to also solve his murder. I think that's a pretty good setup.
It's a pretty good setup, and it also made me emotional. You know, there were definitely some story quirks because everyone was dealing with Batman's death differently. Yeah. And Alfred's a big part of this, and just seeing how everyone, you know, deals with the passing of Batman and every character handles it so differently was quite, you know, it was quite an emotional and great moment. Yes. That's probably my favorite part of this game, was actually seeing those little icons that you'd see around the world that would tell you the next story beat for that particular character. I love that.
Yeah, because every one of these characters is still trying to define themselves as their own hero, and they are in the shadow of the Bat, you know, who has a huge shadow. And of course, you're going to encounter a lot of familiar Bat foes, and the rogues gallery that Batman has is incredible. So you're going to fight some really big ones. I'll just drop that Harley Quinn is one of them.
Yeah, I don't think that's too big of a spoiler.
Yeah, but there's some other cool ones as well. Kirk Langstrom is murdered at the beginning of the game, and people have seen that in previews and stuff.
And just the Gotham City, like, monuments that are in this game, too, right? There's graffiti, there's art, there's a lot of references to, I was telling you, the Gotham by Gaslight. There's just a lot of little, if you're a fan of this world, there's a lot there to uncover.
Gotham's a character. That's the thing.
That's one way to put it.
The city is the value of the game because you are never not going to go and want to explore. You find Batman's batarangs that he's left around the city. You go on these different challenge missions.
There's time trials that you can do. You also could do co-op, which I love. There was like a little speeder time trial that we both did together. And I was like, go get to the checkpoint, Vic. We're like just yelling at each other. I'm like, get there on time. But again, it was just that untethered gameplay experience where you were off doing your own thing, but then we'd meet up. And sometimes I'd have to, like, you come help each other while each of us are down. I love that so much. You know, there was just those moments of, like, you know, me just being an idiot while you're progressing in the story. And then, you know, you go down and I have to, like, jump through these buildings and shoot, like, a dart at you to, like, heal you from a distance as Nightwing. And that was just so funny. It was so hilarious. These were the moments that we wanted from this game.
And that's the cool thing, too. It's much harder to do it alone, but it's just as fun to play it alone as well because you're digging deep into the story and you're gaining new abilities that are unique for each of the characters, and the interactions with the villains and the team is a little bit different from the perspective of each of these characters. It's so much work in this game.
There is a lot.
And the only thing that I was a little disappointed by, I expected more to drill into with the detective elements in the game, and they're in there, but for the most part, you're looking at 5 clues and you're linking 2 clues and you're solving it, and it's pretty straightforward. And I think that must have been a conscious decision to not make this like a point-and-click adventure type puzzle for people and not make it too complex to get people shuttled right back into the action. Because the core of it is fighting lots and lots and lots and lots of different types of bad guys. You've got cops that are chasing after you. They don't want the vigilantes on the street. You've got mobsters. You've got this gang of freaks and this gang that's affiliated with, well, they're sort of villain-based, a lot of these different
you know, you do get a lot of the similar kind of enemy archetypes. Even from the different factions. You got your brutes with the shields. You got your elemental brutes. You got your godmothers that you see around. There's a lot of really funny quirks, but, you know, there's a bit of repetition when it comes to that. The game is nowhere near perfect. But as far as a multiplayer hero experience goes,
and it's a role-playing game too, right? That's the thing. It's not quite it's not Arkham. It's like a fusion of Arkham and The Division. Is the Division,
but you know what? I love the gear system in this game. Not only were the costumes incredible as you unlock every single, but I love that the game wasn't so gear focused. As much, like, you would always unlock stuff quite easily. You were a few cases ahead of me, and I would jump into your game, but as long as you kind of understood the gameplay mechanics, you were able to hang in there. You know, without even being the same gear level as someone else. And the other great thing was when I went back to my own single player game, you know, all the progression would transfer over. When I would catch up to the mission that I did with you, the game would actually you know, ask me if I wanted to skip that mission because I've already played it with you.
That's so cool.
And it was so awesome. All the character progression, again, the levels go across the board amongst all 4 of the heroes, which I love. There's a lot of games. Destiny till this day doesn't do that.
No.
They don't make you grind for no reason.
Right.
And I adore that about this game.
Well, and also the visual stimulation and the rewards of seeing these characters pull off all of these awesome moves. And then there's a lot of technological based enhancements that, you know, drones and robots and things like that. Elemental powers and stuff. So stuff is burning and freezing and you're getting poisoned by different characters. There's a lot of interior kind of exploration as well, which reminded me of some of the interior stuff that you would find in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of stealth missions, right? A lot of little stealth. It was great.
Yeah, and each of the characters are defined and better suited for these types of missions as well. I think we both agree though, Batgirl is the best character in the game.
She's just so charismatic and lovable.
I love her moves and I love her weapons and her abilities too.
I thought I'd love Red Hood the most because he's like my favorite out of the 4.
Right.
And I think a lot of people's, but he's just so angry all the time and he's so negative.
For me. I just couldn't enjoy playing as Red Hood.
He had cool gameplay though. Like he can grab you, throw like attach a concussion grenade and you shoot that concussion and like everyone blows. Like he had a lot of fun gameplay elements, but I agree Barbara had the most charisma.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Robin to be nearly as fun as he was.
I really loved Robin too, and part of it is his optimism and like everybody's so down and they've been through it. They've seen some stuff.
Yes, he's the least experienced out of the bunch, right?
And he's got like a positive attitude about fighting crime.
There's actually a little cutscene, that's right, where they say like, hey, you've clearly not fought these guys yet. Everyone else is kind of like crapping on him. But he kind of like nods his head down like, oh, okay, like I'll learn, you know, I'll get better. But Robin was great, and Robin's probably the one I was least interested in going into this game.
I also like the fact that Warner Brothers recognized they have value in the Midway IP, and they put a Spy Hunter arcade game in the Belfry. And
you took me upstairs. They're like, you come upstairs real quick. You got to play a bit of Spy Hunter. I was like, what? Spy Hunter's in this game? It's so cool.
I think there's tremendous amount of value in here, and the most important part is that the groundwork is laid for a lot more. You know, and we have seen these games. Spider-Man, Arkham Knight, a lot of these open world experiences, Avengers even.
Can I mention something too? I didn't see so far from my gameplay, I didn't experience any microtransactions.
No,
I know there's a deluxe edition that's released with this thing with a few more costumes, but nothing was
statue and
a statue. But there was nothing as far as the costume. Not yet.
They might throw that.
That's going to go in for sure. But I was at least really happy about that.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think you get a lot of value out of the gate. Yeah. Yes, you got to suffer through the 30 frames per second on the consoles, which sucks.
That's something that could get fixed.
I think it will.
Yes.
I think they will fix that. We don't know for sure, but and it's hard to judge it based on hoping that they do.
Yeah.
But I think they will. And if you're going to play this on a pretty powerful PC, you're going to get the silkiest of experiences.
PC players, I think, win for this game in particular. And the game teases you for the consoles because all the cinematics run at 60 frames a second, and then it just jumps down.
Yeah.
But, again, something that could easily be fixed.
I really enjoyed this game, and I'm looking forward to playing with 2 other players when it goes to the 4-player mode kicks in a little bit later. But I was hoping that I was going to have a lot of fun with this, and I really did have a lot of fun, and it was the most fun playing with you.
Oh,
it was really great. What are you going to give Gotham Knights?
I can't believe I'm giving it this score, but it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
I think if it ran at 60, it would be 9, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, and if you're a Batman fan, I think you got to check this one out.